How many of you have ever heard of the renewed mind? I have a concept of it. I know I taught some of this stuff to you guys before, but some of you anyway. You guys should have some concept. We're going to start in Romans chapter 1. If you can't keep up turning the pages, just listen. I'm sorry, Romans chapter 12, verse 1. In Romans chapter 12, verse 1, it reads, it's not toward the back. Well, we're going to stay in the New Testament for this teaching. Well, I'm going to refer to a couple of things I've taught some of you in the past in the Old Testament.
You said Romans what?
Chapter 12, verse 1. So it says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world. Do not be molded or shaped after this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. We're to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. We're to control what we think about. Okay, we're not to allow the world to mold us and shape us after its patterns. Remember who the God of this world is? Who is the God of this world? I taught you guys about this last week.
Yahweh.
Who's the God of this world? The kingdoms of this
Hasatan.
world. That's exactly right. Hasatan, Satan, the devil. Okay, somebody knew. Cool. So, we're not to be formed after his kingdom. Right? In Philippians chapter 2, for Colossians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. Philippians chapter 2, look what it says here. Chapter 2, verse 2. I'm going to get a running start here in verse 2. It reads, fulfill my joy by being like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Verse 3 says, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. One of the things you want to do in controlling your mind is thinking about how your actions affect other people. Okay? Let this mind be in you, which was also in Messiah Yeshua. You've heard the saying, what would Jesus do? Okay, what would Yeshua do? Well, think about what did Yeshua do? And here's going to tell us here real quick. Who being in the form of Elohim did not consider robbery to be equal with Elohim, but made himself of no reputation, taking the form of a bondservant, and coming in the likeness of men. Okay? He had all this power, all this authority as the son of Yahweh. And what did he do? He took the form of a bondservant. He served other people. Okay, that was the mind that was in him. He thought about other people. All right? Remember, he died for us. Right? So, that's what he did. Let this mind be in you, which was in Messiah Yeshua. When you're in a situation in life, when pressure's coming at you, things are going on around you, You control your thinking. You think about what you're thinking about. And you ask yourself, if I was Yeshua, what would I do in this situation? How did he act and behave? And what would I do in this situation if I were him? We'll show you why this is so important. In 1 Peter chapter 5. And 1 Peter is towards the back of the Bible. And by the way, all three of you guys have the same Bible, so when you get there, you can tell the other guy what the page number is.
So what?
1 Peter chapter 5.
Chapter 5, what?
Okay, what page are you on?
1,394.
1,394. That's page Johnny and Debbie said.
1419.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6 reads, Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. One of the things you do when you renew your mind is you cast your care upon Elohim. When situations are going on in the world around you, instead of getting sucked into everything or following every emotion, what you do instead is you cast your care to him. Okay? You lift it up to him. You give it to him. You pray about stuff. That's why we're to live in a spirit of prayer, knowing his presence in us and with us all the time, right? Watch. I'm going to show you why. And why renewing our mind, controlling our thinking is so important. Okay? Casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Be sober. Be vigilant. The word sober means self-control. We're to exercise self-control. Be vigilant. That means to be watchful and be alert. Okay? We're to be watchful spiritually. We're to be spiritually alert for the situations going on in the world around us and how it's affecting us. We're to pay attention to what's going on spiritually. I'll give you an example. You got person A over here, person B over here. Both of them are influenced by spirit. Okay? Fallen angels, part of the devil's kingdom that they're being influenced by. They get into a battle between each other, but you're right in the middle of it. And you get dragged into it. You're actually the target of those spirits, not those two people fighting each other. Those two people fighting each other might think that they're each other's targets, but the spirits know that you're the target. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's where you need to be watchful and alert spiritually and control your own thinking. Not let anger and rage and other things going on suck you right in. Okay? So, be self-controlled, be watchful. Because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. You don't want to be devoured by the devil getting you caught up into something. Okay? You don't want to let other people talk you into things or to manipulate you into things. And I know it's hard in this world because there's so much going on in the world around us. Okay? You guys understand this concept?
Yes.
Of watching out for how the devil's controlling situations and how it's going to affect you? Alright? And I want to talk about the roaring lion part here for a second. One of the things that a lion will do when it goes to pounce on its prey is it will roar to freeze that prey in fear. Okay? When the devil roars, you might not be afraid, but what it might do is set you off balance spiritually. It might cause you to stumble and fall spiritually. It might not cause you not to pay attention to what's going on around you spiritually. It might cause you to not exhibit self-control. That's why you need to work at it, to exhibit that self-control. Okay? And to be spiritually watchful. Now we're going to go back to Colossians. I've been teaching you guys a lot of stuff about Colossians. Alright? So in Colossians chapter 3, I'm going to read a few verses here, chapter 3. I know I read through chapter 3, most of it with you guys a few weeks ago. And part of it was teaching of you some Proverbs as well about having wisdom and seeking wisdom and trusting Yah in everything that you do. Okay? This reads here, set your mind on things above. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. You guys have that? Or you can turn there. Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. Colossians chapter 3, verse 2 says, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. We want to keep our mind on the spiritual picture of things. Okay? Remembering who we are in the Messiah. For you died, and your life is hidden with Messiah in Yahweh. When Messiah, who is our life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. I'm going to skip down here to verse 8. Right? Find verse 8 here. It says, but now you yourselves are to put off all these. Anger. How many of you have ever gotten angry? I know I get angry. Right? It's easy to get angry in this world, especially when you keep having people provoke you. It's one of the things you need to be watchful for. Because the devil will use people to provoke you. Okay? You don't want to allow yourself to be easily provoked. Anger is one of them you want to control. That's one of the things that the devil will use to get into your mind. Wrath. You know what wrath is? Wanting to get vengeance, wanting to get back at somebody. You're just wrathful towards them. That's another thing the devil will use to get into your mind. Anger and wrath go together quite a bit. Malice. Malice, we get the word malicious from this. Being destructive. Destroying things. In this case, the malice is being destructive towards people, towards their property, or the things that you say that can tear them down. Blasphemy. That's speaking evil about Yah and His Word, about other people. Filthy language out of your mouth. You don't want to allow filthy language always to be coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
Okay? That can include cuss words, or it can include filthy discussions. Okay? Alright, use your imagination to know what I'm talking about. Filthy discussions. Alright, we're going to skip down here to verse 15. Look at verse 15. It says, and let the peace of Elohim rule in your hearts. So instead of letting the world control you and manipulate you and cause all this anger and wrath and malice in your life, you know what you do instead? And it takes a concerted effort. It takes a decision to do this. You let the peace of Elohim rule in your hearts. That's to rule your heart. It's His peace. When you're walking, knowing His presence in you, walking by the Spirit, you will know sometimes when you come to a crossroad where you make a decision, sometimes you'll know this is the spiritually peaceful decision. I know it's right. This decision here doesn't feel right spiritually. There's no peace with it. Sometimes that's how you will know to discern spiritually what the right thing to do is. Okay? I want you guys to understand that. As part of renewing your mind, as part of controlling what you think about and exercising self-control. Verse 17 says, verse 16 says, let the word of Messiah dwell in you richly in all wisdom. That's the beginning of what the verse says. There's more to the verse. I want to focus on the all wisdom part. You know, I've been teaching some of you guys in Proverbs about wisdom. To exercise wisdom in life. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. You're getting knowledge right now from the Word. The application of it's going to be the wisdom. Okay? Exercising wisdom in how to handle situations that you find yourselves in life. Not letting the devil pounce on you like a roaring lion because you controlled your thinking. You renewed your mind. You maintain self-control. You paid attention to what Elohim was showing you spiritually about the situation. Okay? We're going to skip down to verse 17. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Messiah, or the sovereign Yeshua, giving thanks to Elohim the Father through him. Or giving thanks to Yahweh the Father through him. So whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the sovereign Yeshua. Remember who you serve. Remember who is sovereign over your life. Remember who you are in Messiah. Okay? And you want to exercise that self-control as you do this. But don't let other people suck you up into worldly problems that are going to cause you problems. Because you might be the target spiritually. They might think each other's the target, but you might be the target. Okay? And that's what I wanted to show you guys today. To renew your mind, exercise that self-control. Think about how your actions affect other people. This I don't care attitude. When you say I don't care about the consequences, you're saying you don't care about how it affects everybody around you. Okay? Well, I don't care. But I don't care doesn't cut it. Because you could be hurting other people around you.